Welcome to eConsults 101. My name is Ashley Clark, and I'm the Senior Manager of Clinician Success here at RubiconMD. Today, we'll cover the mission of RubiconMD, as well as review a live platform demonstration. Please hold all questions until the end for our Q&A portion of the session, or feel free to type them in the QA box as you have them. RubiconMD is an asynchronous e-consult platform that connects primary care to specialty care, providing all patients with the access to care that they need and deserve. The asynchronous exchange is not to be confused with a telehealth or a virtual appointment. This is a clinician to clinician text like feature. The patient is not involved in the provider discussion as it is peer to peer, but of course can be kept informed. Access to specialty care remains a significant challenge for many patients, with 35 to 60% of referrals going incomplete. This creates delays in care and leaves many PCPs and patients without the specialized insights that they need. Patients often face barriers such as navigating a complex healthcare system, social determinant barriers such as transportation, financial constraints, and limited caregiver support, and of course, long specialist wait times averaging 25 days nationwide. The eConsult platform provides you with over 140 specialties and subspecialties at your fingertips, with an average turnaround time of just about 3.5 hours. 90% of eConsult exchanges have been deemed as improving the care plan by PCPs today, and up to 70% of eConsult exchanges have been deemed as preventing unnecessary referrals and services. The average star rating is a 4.9 out of 5 stars, and we do hope you have similar experiences on the platform. RubiconMD eConsults streamline specialty access by allowing PCPs to gain expert insights without having their patients wait for in-person specialist appointments. PCPs can leverage eConsults to interpret lab results or images, review or adjust medications, seek a second opinion, clarify diagnostic questions, develop interim care plans, and of course, improve referral quality. With Rubicon MD, you can get actionable recommendations that support timely, informed decision making, improving care, and reducing wait times for your patients. The Rubicon MD specialist. At this time, you're probably wondering, so who are the specialists answering these e-consults? Our network includes specialists across over 140 specialties and subspecialties that have an average of 18 years of experience within their respective field, coupled with an average tenure of about 4 years with Rubicon MD. These leaders in their fields practice at top institutions and are trained specifically for virtual care. With over a decade of experience in serving the primary care market and maintaining an exceptional quality rating of about 4.93 out of 5 stars, Rubicon MD specialists are equipped to provide the high quality, timely, and evidence based responses you need to deliver comprehensive care. These are some of the common cases we've seen come through the platform within our top specialties. These by no means have to be your top specialties or your most common cases. But first, you will see dermatology on the screen. 90% of our dermatology cases include a picture leveraging the Rubicon MD camera app, which is a great way to supplement e-consult submissions. Cardiology, endocrinology, and gastroenterology are next. You're welcome to use the camera app to supplement your e-consult beyond the dermatology specialty as well. If it is helpful to include a picture of a patient's EKG in the e-consult form, you're welcome to do so. Similar with endocrinology, labs are a great use case for the camera application. As long as your photo is legible and the attachments are less than 20 pages, you're welcome to include them with your e-consult submission. It's also helpful to note that not only do we have medical specialties, but surgical specialties as well. So you will find orthopedics on the platform, but you'll also find orthopedic surgery. Here, you will see a comprehensive specialty care listing. In addition to adult specialties, we also have nearly 30 pediatric subspecialties on the platform available to you as well. E-consults are intended to support those of all ages. All right, so now we will jump into a live platform demonstration. Please note what I'm about to present is our standard web-based platform access avenue. If your organization has an integration with RubiconMD, please reach out to your designated RubiconMD representative for more information on the custom workflow. If you're unsure who your Rubicon representative is, please feel free to reach out to support@rubiconmd.com. In order to access the eConsult platform, you're welcome to visit rubiconmd.com, where you can find the login button. And here, if it is your first time, you will be prompted to activate your account. You only need to do this one time, and then you are set to leverage the eConsult platform thereafter. Once you've activated your account, you will be brought to a login screen that looks awfully similar to mine. I would suggest favoriting this or starring this for your convenience, so that way you can come back and you get the login process out of the way. So once I successfully log in, I can see my dashboard. Being that I've had an account for quite some time, you can see all the recent consults I've ever submitted. If this is your first time accessing your account, of course, you won't have any information here. We also have very, very robust resources available to you, such as our CME webinars. We have both live and an on-demand series, a case library that has really robust quality cases that have come through our platform, and of course, a learning center to make sure you have the resources you need to be onboarded onto the platform. So in order to create a consult, I'm going to hit Create eConsult, and it opens up the specialty selector. I do have a couple of different options to get to the specialty that I am seeking. If I know offhand who I want to submit to, I can just start typing it in. So here I've typed in dermatology, and you can see all of the subspecialty options that are available to me. Otherwise, I can click from one of the common specialty buttons if these apply. Please note that this is static. So this is not necessarily going to be your common specialties. These are just our common specialties nationwide. But you'll also find everything else in alphabetical order down below. If it is your first time on the platform, I strongly encourage you to peruse through. I think you'll be pretty impressed with our network. So I'm going to submit a dermatology case, and perhaps this is a lesion. Every eConsult form looks exactly the same, regardless of specialty that you are submitting to. Only thing that changes is this instructions pane here on the side. We currently have this for our top 20 specialties, with the intention to add this to the rest of our specialties throughout the year. This is not a checklist. You don't have to include every single bullet point on here. This is more of a guide or a reference to help you create the most succinct but robust eConsult form. It is also important to note that eConsult submissions should take you 5 minutes or less. We definitely don't want this to be seen as an administrative burden by any means. This is also not an EHR download, so just include enough information to convey over to the specialist what your patient is experiencing. So I'm going to first go ahead and get started with the question. I can ask as many questions that apply to this patient and this specialty. So perhaps I want to ask two. Assessment and plan. If you have any valuable information, please drop it here. Otherwise, if you don't have anything to add, an NA works just fine. And then most importantly, outside of the question box is the background box. This is really where you'll spend the most of your time explaining to the specialist what your patient is experiencing, relevant history to include. Please also note that the specialist cannot see your EHR. So the information that you are inputting in the eConsult form is all they have in order to provide guidance back to you on your patient. So you'll add in all the necessary information here. Please also add any barriers to care, such as the inability to travel or financial or insurance limitations. Please add all of that information in this box. So I know I briefly touched upon the RubiconMD camera app a couple moments ago. So this is exactly where you access it. So we're going to go to the attachments field, and we're going to hit add attachments. Now there are two different avenues to add an attachment to your eConsult form if it is clinically appropriate. So in the instance where you work in a setting where you cannot use a personal device, whether that's an iPad, a tablet, a cell phone, whatever the case may be, you're still welcome to include an attachment. So if you have a photo on your desktop, perhaps I have a picture of somebody's lesion on their face on my desktop computer, I can drag it over. This operates very closely to an email exchange, so I can either drag and drop, or I can click here to select and select the file that I wish to include. We do have a couple of different formats that are accepted. You'll see them here. So it's PNG, JPEG, TIFF, and PDF. And again, there is that 20-page maximum that is supported on the platform. The second avenue that we see most often used is this camera application. So whether you have an Apple phone or an Android phone, you can go to the App Store, you can type in RubiconMD camera app, and you will be prompted to download the camera application. This works a lot like a VPN almost. So it is really being that virtual handshake between your personal device and your computer so that there is acknowledgement, there is the safety net. You will enter the code that you see on your screen here. And any photo that you take, whether it's of the patient, whether it's of an image, it will never remain on your personal device so long as it is taken within the Rubicon camera app. So I'm going to snap the photo that I'd like, and I'm going to hit done. Once I attach an image, I will see it populate right over here. Last but not least is the patient information. This section is not being sent over to the specialist. This is purely for you and your clinical support team when that e-consult comes back for you to reconcile who the patient was and implement those next steps. I'm going to enter in the information. So perhaps this is patient Minnie Mouse. We entered in all the fields above, and we're going to go ahead and submit the consult. So we just submitted the e-consult for patient Minnie Mouse to dermatology. Let's say I want to send to another specialist as well. I'm going to hit send to another specialist, and perhaps infectious diseases is the specialty most appropriate. What we do at RubiconMD is we actually clone your original submission. So as you can see here, a couple of the boxes are already grayed out. So it's carried over that information for me. I don't need to start from scratch, including the patient information. But what is available for editing is the question box. So perhaps the first question that I asked the dermatologist is not necessarily relevant to the infectious disease specialist. I can tweak my question, I can add, I can delete, whatever the case may be. I can also add attachments if I'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. So I just sent off patient Minnie Mouse to dermatology and infectious disease. If I want to send it to somebody else, I can do so. Otherwise, I can just close out. When you do receive a response back from a specialist, you will receive an email prompting you to check out your task box. As you can see on my screen here, I also have a 1 denoting that I need to do something in my task box as well. So this is a dermatology case. This is patient Lisa Simpson. She is a 38-year-old female. You can see down here, this is the background that I've included as the primary care clinician, inclusive of a photo. So ultimately, my question here is, does this spot on her forehead require a biopsy? So what I can see right now is that Dr. Ann is the specialist with Rubicon who has answered my consult. Dr. Ann holds 10 to 20 years of experience and has an average star rating of a 4.8 out of 5 stars with Rubicon. She has answered over 100 consults. So at this time, I'm going to review Dr. Ann's response, and I can exercise a couple of different options at this point. Let's say Dr. Ann provided feedback to me, or I have further questions on the information that she's given me, or she needs additional context from me. I can hit continue this consultation, send a follow-up. So that is going to go directly back to Dr. Ann on behalf of patient Lisa Simpson. Now, I do have 2 other options up top. I can submit this e-consult to another specialist. So I just did that with patient Minnie Mouse. If you can recall, I sent it to dermatology and I also sent it to infectious disease. I also have that same opportunity when I get my first response back, should I want to. So I can submit this case to dermatology to get a second opinion, or I can send it to an entirely different specialty if I want to. Given that we have a 4.93 out of 5 star rating, I do hope that you are satisfied with the majority of your consults. So let's say you read this response and it gives you everything you were hoping for. You're going to hit all done, mark as reviewed. You're going to rate the stars most appropriate. Perhaps I thought this was a stellar response. And then just tell us how the e-consult helped you. So maybe I avoided a referral and I treated or counseled a patient. You do have this open additional feedback box. Should you feel inclined to add any information, you don't have to if you don't want to. And down here, once I hit confirm, I have successfully closed out the eConsult. That does not mean the eConsult just disappears or expires. The eConsult will remain in my dashboard as long as my account with Rubicon remains active. In the instance where you closed a case and want to go back to it at a later date, all of your e-consults that you have closed will be in your reviewed tab. So you can open them up at any time if you have any follow-ups needed. At this time, I want to thank you so much for joining eConsults 101. If you do have any follow-up questions, please contact support at RubiconMD.com. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day.